What's up, everyone? Bass here. Another week one horrible performance by the Green Bay Packers. Last year we saw it with the Saints, 38-3. And then this year in week one, yet again, another bad loss to the Minnesota Vikings, 23-7. This game did just end, so these are all my initial thoughts, getting them hot out on the press right after this game ends, because I do have a decent bit to say. So I'm going to start with the offense, and I just did not like the game plan for the offense all night. I think the game plan wasn't good. I thought they didn't run enough to begin, and then briefly we'll touch up on this Christian Watson thing. Obviously, that first play of the game, should have been a 75-yard touchdown. First play of the season, first play of the game, and who knows? That could have changed the entire momentum and outlook of the game. When you drop such an easy ball like that, and it looks like, okay, that's your way to score your first touchdown and get your points on the board, it's demoralizing. But drops happen. I'm not extremely upset at Christian Watson. The reason the Packers lost tonight wasn't Christian Watson. I think all aspects of this game were not good. And Christian Watson, again, wasn't great tonight. He had an end around, quick out route, and then a play thrown by Jordan Love for the last play of the game. But other than that, drop pass running deep, a dropped quick flat route late in the game where he didn't turn his head. Not a good debut by Christian Watson. Looked like first game jitters, a true rookie performance. I will say the one thing I'll take out of that, the optimism I'll take out of that, is his route on the 9 route against Patrick Peterson. You really saw his speed and his ability to break open deep. I mean, he had all the separation on Patrick Peterson. This guy can truly take the top off a defense, but man, you got to catch the ball, because if that happens frequently, you're not going to get on the field. Aaron Rodgers isn't going to throw you the ball. I kind of wish they went back to a deep ball. The Packers really struggled intermediate to deep today. They barely had any completions over 10 yards. Most of it was checkdowns to the running backs or a quick screen or a quick pass. There was no vertical offense today, and that definitely really hurt the Packers. Aaron Rodgers went 22 of 34 for 195 yards and 1 interception, and that interception was a prayer ball thrown up to Randall Cobb, and Harrison Smith obviously made a really good play, a really good catch. And, the offensive line today, poor performance. Aaron Rodgers sacked 4 times. I just do not like the combination of Jake Hansen and Royce Newman on that right side of the line. I've been saying it all preseason. I don't like that combination. John Runyon went out with a concussion, and they finally brought in Zach Tom at left guard, and I thought Zach Tom played really well. I think he needs to be in this offensive lineup going forward, and I think it should be at right guard or right tackle in place of Jake Hansen. If you move to right tackle, obviously you bump Royce Newman back in at right guard, or if you're more comfortable with Zach Tom at right guard, you keep Newman at right tackle. I wasn't extremely unimpressed with Royce Newman. I didn't think he had a wonderful game, but I did not like Jake Hansen there at right guard. I liked Zach Tom. I think Josh Nijman played decent. I think Josh Myers had a decent game. And before going out with a concussion, I think John Runyon had a decent game. But overall, just not a good performance by the offensive line, but also Aaron Rodgers kind of holding the ball long. And I'm not going to put this all on him, because a couple of times I saw wide receivers, when the play was being extended, they weren't working back towards the ball. They weren't trying to find an open hole in the defense. On one of the plays, Aaron Rodgers rolled right. And on the review, I saw 2 wide receivers, don't know exactly who they were, standing on the sideline, pretty much. They were playing. They weren't on the sideline, but they're near the sideline, not moving. Pretty much allowing one defender to cover both of those guys on a very tight sideline. Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be able to fit a ball in there. So, yes, Aaron Rodgers definitely held the ball too long in certain situations. He had, sometimes 4 seconds to throw the ball and still got sacked. You can't have that. At least throw the ball away. But at the same time, the receivers really didn't help him. A lot of guys were not getting open today. Expected a little more out of Sammy Watkins. We really didn't get that. Randall Cobb had a handful of catches, maybe 3. Really not even anything crazy. A couple catches here and there. Again, Christian Watson. Romeo Doubs ran the wrong route on the first drive. So after that, he had 1 deep pass and garbage time. Other than that, these wide receivers really need to step it up. They need to start getting open. You can't be throwing everything within 10 yards. You're going to have to threaten the defense over the middle, deep, intermediate, whatever it may be, and that just did not happen tonight. The leading receiver tonight was A.J. Dillon with 46 yards. I will say I loved what I saw from A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones. As to be expected, these running backs, will see a lot of receptions, and that's not a surprise to me. I expected a running back to be one of the leading receivers tonight. I thought it could have been Aaron Jones. He only had 27 yards. In fact, it was A.J. Dillon. Really liked what I saw from him tonight. The leading wide receiver was Romeo Doubs with 37 yards. Robert Tonyan had 3 catches for 36 yards. Christian Watson, 2 for 34. Most of that coming in garbage time at the end, the last play of the game. DeGuara, same thing, 2 garbage time throws by Jordan Love, 28 yards. Sammy Watkins, 3 for 18. Nothing there. Juwan Winfrey, 1 for 17. And Randall Cobb, 2 for 14. Overall, this offense just did not look good. Now, they did rush okay for 111 total yards. Jones for 49 and AJ for 45. They had a couple cool end arounds, a reverse for Romeo Doubs, which I liked, and an end around for Christian Watson, which I also liked, but that was probably the only positives of those two guys were the running plays they had. But yeah, the offense was not good tonight. They're going to have to fix this. They're going to have to figure out what to do in order to extend the field a little bit more. They had one good drive in the first half and stalled on the goal line where they're running out of shotgun, which, if you know me, I cannot stand. It's like if you're on the goal line, why would you want to start your run from farther back? It looked like it could have been an RPO or read option, and had Aaron Rodgers kept it, he might have walked into the end zone. But, we can't play that game of if he did this or if he did that. Overall, they didn't score on 4th and goal. They didn't score in the entire first half. And then moving on to the defense, I won't say the defense played absolutely terrible because they did have a couple drives where they looked good. They looked explosive. They are flying around, especially Quay Walker, who got hurt, so hopefully that's not a long-term thing. Same with Chris Barnes, and we'll jump into more of the injuries a little bit later. But there was a couple drives where a couple 3-and-outs on the Vikings, a couple forced punts where you thought, okay, looks like the potential of this Green Bay Packers defense. But then on the flip side, you had a complete opposite defense in multiple drives where one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, if not the best, Justin Jefferson, is left wide open. It's one thing to cover a guy up and he just plain outright beats you with his skill. He makes a nice catch over your cornerback or, just makes a really nice route and beats your guy. But what annoys me is him being absolutely wide open in the middle of the zone. The soft zone defense by Joe Barry tonight was absolutely awful. The Vikings had a great game plan against it. Had Justin Jefferson pretty much wide open whenever they wanted, even Adam Thielen a couple times. And the safety play by Darnell Savage and Adrian Amos didn't look good on that one long touchdown to Jefferson. They were completely turned around, and multiple times this game, these safeties were turned around. One instance, Preston Smith was covering Justin Jefferson, so I guess cornerback 1, Preston Smith, is back into the realm of existence, which I do not understand at all. Don't even want to talk about it too much. I don't know why you would ever have an outside linebacker over Justin Jefferson in the slot. And then other times they lined up Eric Stokes over Justin Jefferson, who had an awful day in my opinion. I don't know why you're not shadowing Justin Jefferson with Jair Alexander. And I know it's easier said than done, but that should be your first idea going into the game plan, creating this game. Hey, we need to stop their best player on offense with our best player on defense. We need to shadow Jair on Justin Jefferson, whether he's in the slot, out wide left, or out wide right. I want Jair on him. That wasn't the case multiple times. Rasul Douglas was covering him, which is, again, a mismatch. I think Rasul had a decent day, but I wouldn't trust him to cover up Justin Jefferson well. And that's saying more for Justin Jefferson than it is Rasul Douglas. Rasul Douglas, I think, is a good corner. He can definitely still play slot, and I think that's a good idea, just not when Justin Jefferson's in the slot. That's got to be Jair there. I don't know why it didn't happen tonight. I don't know why they didn't change to that at halftime and still kept doing the same thing, expecting a different result. But that is something that worried me a ton. Overall, I thought the Packers' run defense wasn't terrible. They did allow 126 yards, 90 to Cook, and 36 to Madison. But in the beginning of the game, they did struggle to run the Vikings, and the Packers did decent as a run defense. But overall, like I said, I don't think the defense played terrible, and I don't think they played great. I think they had more bad drives than they had good, but I mainly put this game on the offense. But on the defense, there were some highlights. Quay Walker flying around early. Like I said, got hurt. Hopefully he's all good. He looked really good tonight. Devondre Campbell had 11 total tackles. It looked like he was kind of out of place sometimes and missed a couple, it seemed, but we'll see what the PFF reports as how many missed tackles he had. Rashawn Gary, the only sack of the night. I expected more pressure on Kirk Cousins. I thought this edge rush and this defensive line was going to get more pressure. A lot of times Kirk Cousins had all day to throw, so really need to do better there as well. Kenny Clark, I thought, had a really nice day. Jerron Reed made some plays later, but other than that, those are really the only flashes on defense tonight. And ironically, I think the best unit of the Packers team was the special teams today. There was really no mistakes other than a couple short kick returns and some other things like that. I think they had a false start on a punt. But other than that, it was actually the best performing unit on the Packers team, which is a good thing, but not when the offense and defense don't play well and the Packers just easily get beat like this. And as I said, for the injury so far, it looked like Chris Barnes, Quay Walker, John Runyon Jr., and Kayshawn Nixon. Kayshawn Nixon came in one play, made a really nice tackle, walked off with what it seemed like an arm or shoulder injury. Chris Barnes instantly had an air cast on his knee, or his right leg, I believe. The cart came out while the Vikings are doing a Go Vikings chant, so stay classy, Vikings fans. Quay Walker, don't exactly know what that injury is. I'm hoping he's okay to go. I think John Runyon Jr. was a concussion, but I think he got cleared. He just didn't come back into the game. And obviously, we'll have more news on these injuries tomorrow and as the week progresses, and you'll find that all here on this channel. And I'm also bringing back the series of going over PFF grades for each game, and that'll be out either tomorrow or Tuesday, depending on when the PFF grades drop. So that's definitely going to be interesting because I don't believe there'll be many great grades from this game. But that about does it for this video. Those are my initial thoughts and my ranting for this first game. It just sucks because I expected more from week one. I didn't expect another horrible performance like last year. I expected them to learn from that and go into this game with a better game plan, more energy. There was really low energy tonight, but they play the Bears next week, Sunday Night Football. This does not end the season. It's week one. This doesn't dictate the season. The Packers won 7 games after getting beat badly last week in week one, and Aaron Rodgers went on to win a back-to-back MVP. So this does not dictate the season. It's a shame, but we got a lot of games left in this year. But that about does it for this one. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like down below if you did enjoy this video, but I'll catch you on the next one. As always, go Pack Go.